Hey everybody, I'm Erica Carlson with Bricks Real Estate, and I am continuing sharing information from the Smart Home Buyer. This is a free guide that I give out to all of my new clients and is always available to you at my website at iheartmpLshomes.com. Hope you'll check it out. Lots of information there. Plus you can start searching for houses if you're interested. So speaking of house searching, we are going to jump into the information about researching a house, and there's so much great information to share. I hope you will stick with me here till the end. So I'll give you the really big stuff, which is to start, pictures tell 1,000 lies. And I'm gonna have some examples of this shortly, where it'll show you how great houses can look really bad and bad houses can look really great. It all comes down to staging and lighting and the skills of a photographer. And so while we want to thank all real estate agents are hiring a professional if they're not good at taking pictures themselves, that isn't what's happening. You know, you just look a little bit online. Still, a lot of people are using junky cell phone pictures, not even opening up the light to the windows, just doing some basic things. And so, you know, a really dark picture or like really zoomed in because they don't have a wide angle lens and it doesn't give you like a sense of space, you might be skipping over a really fantastic house because you're just quickly looking through the pictures. And so I want to talk to you about going a little bit deeper than just, you know, swiping through pictures. And when I first started, you could, I think, only put up like 20, 30 pictures. And now you can do like 60 or 80. So some of these houses, the agents aren't like screening out the pictures enough too. So that's like another reason to not sit and look at every single photo. It doesn't necessarily pull together the information you need. Anyway, I digress. So that's extremely important. If you don't believe me, look at a few houses and you will realize that like the image you had in your mind of what that house was going to feel like, sound like, smell like, you know, it just doesn't convey in a few pictures online. It's just never going to work. And so we need to go a little bit deeper. And I'm not going to share my screen, but I'll just kind of describe a couple of things that you really, like, I sincerely mean, like, get in the habit of. If you are seriously shopping for a house, which is why I assume you are watching my video today, I cannot recommend enough you get in the habit of doing these things that will really take you kind of from like a novice shopper to an expert, which I know sounds kind of stupid, but there's a logic behind this. So the first thing I want to share with you is get in the habit of clicking that map that should come with. So if you are shopping here in Minneapolis, you have a real estate agent here locally, our MLS supplies a map, and I assume most of them would nationwide as well. And when you click on it, it can give you like street level and aerial view. And what I want you to look for is obvious objections. Now, these are things you have maybe never given a second of thought about in your life, but now it's time to think about it. Now, I'm going to give you some examples. They may not be objections for you. They're just examples. Train tracks, busy highways, maybe a cemetery, the fire station being across the street or in the neighborhood. These are just some things that like immediately come to mind that these are things you should be able to learn from an aerial shot. And if you are not getting it from what your real estate agent is sharing with you, then take the address of a house you're excited about and drop it into Google Maps. And many times you can do that 3D like street view. That's fantastic. But just even if you could just start getting in the habit of doing the aerial, you will learn so much more about that house than you were able to get from the address and the photos. So start there. Do not underestimate that. Even if it's not a deal breaker for you, I want you to think about the fact that one day this house will be sold. Now, if you say, no, this is my forever house, remember, then your grandchildren or somebody in your family is going to sell it for you, and they're going to have to deal with the fact that this house has X, Y, and Z. So from a resale point of view, you have to put that hat on as well as like the today hat. Like, will it bother me today? And what does today mean? Okay, I might be childless today, but if in 5 years I'm planning on having a family, does that train track or that busy highway or something like that now become something I'm not happy with? And of course, we don't want you to buy a house that you feel like you have to turn around and sell. Then you shouldn't be in the market for purchasing a house at all. All right, second point. Now dig into all that data we give you. There is a reason all that data is shared with you. So What's important to you? Do you want your primary or master bedroom on the main level? Here, there, whatever. Like, is there something like that you can glean from this data? Maybe bedroom size is important to you. Look at what's written. Now, in all fairness, this information isn't always supplied. So you do the best you can with what you have. But if it's obviously a 3-bedroom and they're all teeny tiny bedrooms and that's not what you're looking for, then that house should go off your list, and who cares what the pictures look like. Again, this kind of goes back to your priority checklist. So room sizes, objections like that. Okay. Also, as you're looking through the pictures, what else can you glean from the information other than just the room? Like, can you see through the window? Is there something like, okay, it's facing that way? You could kind of figure that out. The next picture, this window's facing that way, and you're kind of build the floor plan together with all that information in your mind. Again, is this a house that's going to work for you? Is there something like obvious at this point that like isn't going to work? You just have to look a little bit beyond just clicking quickly, like, because that's almost like saying I like your decorating style or not, and you need to go deeper than that. Staging and lighting, it's affecting you. All right, let's say you're more at the point of like looking at the house in person and you're curious about the value of the house. I mean, a lot of people jump to numbers really quickly. If you're one of those people, be really careful about using a website like Zillow to use the Zestimate, because once a house is listed for sale, the Zestimate gets skewed by the data that the listing agent put in for the price of the house. So now there's still could be some inaccuracy in that number, but that isn't going to be your best way to determine if it's being listed at a fair price. So your real estate agent will help you build out a comparable analysis to decide if the price is fair. Now, of course, when we're in a heavy seller's market and we're getting a lot of multiple offers, the strategy becomes a little bit different. So a slower market, you're definitely looking at that data. Anytime you should be doing that. I shouldn't have said it that way. Okay, lastly, I'm going to put a bunch of links for you at the bottom of ways you can research the house on your own that don't necessarily or shouldn't necessarily involve your real estate agent and just will empower you. So the first one I want to share with you is communitycrimemap.com. This will be a fabulous crime mapping tool for you. So, if that is important to you, then you'll have that link. mncompass.org is for like the demographics or data about like how many families are in a neighborhood or age ranges, number of rental properties in the neighborhood, things like that again, a real estate agent really cannot do this type of research for you. And so you're on your own when you're getting into demographic information. We don't ever want to be unethical and steer somebody from one neighborhood to another based on this information. So it's just best if you look up crime and demographic information on your own. And then the third link I will share with you is MAR, the Minnesota Association of Realtors, Minneapolis Area Association of Realtors. Every neighborhood or city in the 13 county area and beyond, we track all the data for this. And so you can learn about days on market and average list price and how many listings are, all these things that, yes, your agent can pull for you, but I can empower you by giving you the link, and you can look up all those details that are important in terms of your research. So in conclusion, I would like to share a few pictures here for you. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at my desk, but I'll put them on the screen. And so the first one is of a very dark living room, and it's not staged. And so it looks fine and lovely to me, but when you compare it to the second one, now you can see that the camera person backed up. The lighting is fantastic. No paint, nothing's changed. There's just furniture. And now look at how much more welcoming and nice that is. So if you just think about those two pictures, if I'm clicking through quickly on my search, no matter what program I'm using, and I see the first one compared to the second one, I might have skipped that house. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that room. It just wasn't telling me much of a story. It looked dark. It looked a little kind of sad, right? Same room, different view. So you really do, again, need to put your critical thinking hat on when you're looking at these pictures. Like, you have to go a little bit deeper and know when you're being sold to, and when you're in vice versa, when you're not being sold to, and now you're missing a great house because of this. Let me show you one more example. We have the dark room with the fireplace. You should be on your screen. And again, nothing wrong with the picture. It's just not professional. It looks like it was done with a cell phone. It looks like a completely fine room, but like I'm actually under the impression it's darker and dingier than like it actually is in person. And notice the second one, the windows are so much light coming in. It's so bright. Everything is focused. It's not a cell phone picture. That is done by a professional. And, you can see the room color is the same and everything. It's just the power of a professional versus a cell phone. And this is messing with you. These are psychology things that are messing with you. And you just have to think about it a little bit deeper. If there's anything real estate related I can do to be of help to you, I am always happy to help you. I work in the West Metro, Twin Cities, Minneapolis area, and would love to talk to you if you need anything. Thanks for joining me.